Um, Hi, everybody. I'm really glad to have you here. Um, and I have a guest. I would like to introduce Mr. Tom to you. He is a former colleague of mine and is going to participate in this session. Okay. Yes, Mr. Tom, the field is
It is a
yours.
pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here, Mr. Souf. Thank you very much for the invitation.
You're welcome. No worries. Yeah, Mr. Tom, these are my students, and some of them are kind of intimidated when speaking English. What advice can you give them to help them really communicate in English efficiently?
Mm. Well, that's a great question. And first of all, before anything, I should say, Arif, if you don't mind me calling you that,
Yeah,
it's so good to see you.
yeah, you too,
For
bro.
everyone on the call, just to let you know, Arif and me are dear friends that go back more than a decade. And we were both English teachers together. And I have to say, I've never met someone not from a native speaking country as competent in English as Arif. And I mean that. And he knows I mean that too. So that's what I would just like to start as well. But my advice to anyone learning any language, not just English, it can be French, German, it can be Swahili, it doesn't matter. My advice is, as much as possible, be present. And what I mean by be present is be in the moment, because in the moment, you have access to higher faculties of thinking. You have a much clearer brain and mindset. And in that state of mind, communication is so much easier. My job now is working with leaders and executives all over the world. And a line I always like to share with them is the following. I say, nobody needs a course in strategic communication if they're fully present, because you're not going to make the big mistakes, or you're not going to have the errors that you would have in a low mood or low state of mind when you're fully present. And in that state of presence, you'll have access to all your knowledge of the English language that you've learned in the past. When the fan stops spinning, good ideas come true. So that would be my answer to your question, Arif.
Okay, does anybody have any questions to ask to Mr. Tom? Does anybody want to see if it is really difficult to talk with a native speaker? I don't think it's difficult. These guys are making up stories. It's only in their brains. Who'd like to start talking to Mr. Tom? I just wanted to put them in such situation to shake off their fears and apprehensions, bro. Yeah, yeah. Anybody wants to?
Salam
Hello?
alaikum.
Yeah, Mr. Tom
Hello.
knows how to speak Arabic too, and Swahili as well. Yeah,
Hello.
hello.
Yes, hi, Alia.
Hello, Mr. Thomas. How are you doing? Actually,
I am,
it's a pleasure, actually. It's our pleasure to have you in our session. Thank you so much for this great, actually, opportunity. Thank you so much.
and Alia, I'm very impressed by your fluency and fluidity of speech. So thank you so much for your comments. It's a pleasure to be here with you all as well.
Thank you so much. Actually, I would just like to add a comment, or actually to add something. It's actually a problem that I actually face. Whenever I speak in English, actually, I feel like I'm speaking so fast. So sometimes actually I drop words and I feel like I'm not making myself actually clear to the one in front of me. So how can I actually avoid this problem?
Well, I think, first of all, it means that your brain is working very well. So that's a good thing.
you see, yeah, yeah,
Because I mean, if you get caught up in a flurry of words at high speed, it's much easier, Alia, to slow down your speech than it is to speed up your speech. So your problem is a good problem if we have to pick problems, really.
Yeah.
And I would say it's about one thing: awareness. So the moment that you're aware that you're speaking fast, awareness is like a muscle of consciousness. So when you become aware, you're automatically going to slow down. So my advice would be to keep an open mind and try and notice when you're speeding up, and then simply pump the brakes.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
That's very good. Anybody
Thank you.
else? Hey guys, don't be scared of speaking English to a native speaker. It's really, actually, it's not Mr. Tom who is the native speaker. Okay, he speaks English more clearly than I do. Actually, it's me who is the native speaker. Am I not, Mr. Tom? I think he is a native speaker of Swahili. Yeah. Does anybody else?
Let me
Yeah.
put it like this, okay? To all of us here, there's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 people. Would anyone like to tell me what is their biggest challenge in speaking English? And we can help you with that challenge. So Alia gave a wonderful example of something that comes to her mind that she thinks is holding her back. And I think it's a really nice time for anyone else to share what they think is holding them back so that we can tackle it head on in a diplomatic and friendly way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nesreen, Abir, Ahlam,
Yeah.
Sohail, Soad, Doa, you are all welcome. What
Yeah.
is a challenge you are having?
What problems do you think that you are coming across when speaking English, guys?
So,
Go ahead,
Yeah,
Soad.
yeah, Miss Saad.
I think I have a problem in fluency speaking.
Mm.
I think
Would
I
you
have
like
a great problem.
would you like to take that answer, Mr. Arif?
Well, I think Miss Saad is a good friend of mine. Actually, I'm teaching her kid, and she's a good reader too. She reads a lot. I don't think that her English is bad or something. I think she only gets intimidated. It's about um, she, she underestimates her competencies. Okay, when it comes to the English language, I think she has to give it a shot. I think she has to get involved in more in conversations with people, or she speaks English more. That's the only problem she has, and most non-native speakers have that problem. Okay, they just feel scared and intimidated. Okay, their hearts start beating up, pounding. Okay, as if they are going to meet a ghost or something. No, relax, guys, relax. It's a piece of cake, so no need to worry. Just think, then speak. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. And one more thing, practice makes perfect. So if you want to learn English or any other foreign language, you do it the way babies do that. Do you know how babies learn languages? The key word is listening. Okay, they listen and then they start saying pa, ma, and they learn words. This is Noam Chomsky's theory. So you have to listen to English conversations as much as you can. Okay. When I was working with native speakers and with Mr. Tom, of course, I used to speak as much as I can with them so that I would refine my language. I'm never satisfied, okay? So you should always work hard on that. Is that okay, Miss Saad?
Yes, okay.
Okay, Mr.
We
Tom,
will
if you,
try.
yeah, Mr. Tom, if you want to add something, the field is yours.
Shukran, Jazilan. I think that
You're
just
welcome.
to add some cherries on top of Mr. Soup's cake, I would say, Soad,
Oh,
that
you mispronouncing my name, by the way, and you're doing that deliberately. I know you. Okay, I got
so
you.
Soad, Miss Soad, I would say that it is about exposure, as Arif says, because I mean, my sister is a French teacher, and she would always say that the way that she learned was by having the French news on in the background, by listening to the Weather Channel in French, by reading French novels, because she wanted to absorb the the culture, the feeling of the language as well, to get a sense of it, not just textbooks and vowels and nouns and sentence structure and syntax, but to really verbally fall in love with the language. That's, I think, the best piece of advice I could give. I
Yeah,
used to live in Uganda, and there I had no idea what anyone was saying, but the students I was teaching had no idea what I was saying. So I really started to love this culture, and it became obvious how hard I was trying to learn and to make an effort. So they were then making an effort back with me. But it's all about falling in love with what you're learning, because then it does not feel like a chore. It does not feel like work. So it's about exposure, Soad, as Mr. Suf points to as well.
okay. Anybody else? I have, well, I think most of them are really shy, but I have one student who once expressed that to me. She told me frankly that I'm really shy. I can't speak. And right now, I'm going to get her involved in a conversation with you. Miss Nasreen bin Hamadi, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello. Okay.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. Eid Mubarak.
Thank you.
Uh, I'm shying. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Thomas. My name is Nisreen bin Hamadi. I'm from Tunisia. My problem with the language that I have nobody to communicate with. But when I watch any movies or watch any person uh, talking English, I understand, but I don't have anyone to talk with, so I can't communicate English. This is my problem.
Well, Nesreen, shukran, and also Eid Mubarak to you and to everyone. Let me ask you a question, okay?
Okay.
If you wanted to learn Spanish and you had no one to speak Spanish to, where would you start looking for someone to speak Spanish with?
Maybe on Facebook or um, Facebook, maybe.
Yeah. Now, if we change it to English,
The same way.
right?
Mm,
Yeah. So we are all, I'm in Ireland. Many of you are in Tunisia and
Egypt.
North Africa, I guess, yes. But I'm talking to you. I'm in a different country. I'm talking to you on Zoom. What
yes,
if there was someone in an English speaking country that wanted to learn Arabic
the
or
same way.
French? Yeah, but maybe you could, rather than just looking for someone to speak English, what about if you find a group and reach into the group and say, I would like to do an exchange with someone. I'll help you with Arabic if you help me with English. Win-win.
Problem
Yes,
solved.
okay. Thank
Yeah,
you. This is the
and
best solution.
that's just one example, Nesreen, because the world is full of opportunities and potential. And I think of it like this, you know, I don't want to get too technical with language, but you know those flies, the big flies, like a blue bottle fly, Arif, translate if you
Yeah.
need to,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they buzz so hard, like zzz, and they
But
try
then,
to get out through the window.
Yeah.
And you're just looking at them sometimes and thinking, my goodness, the window is open over there, 4 meters away, but you're trying to break through the window here. So I think sometimes when we stop flapping around and we let ourselves settle down, we can see other options. If we're always focusing on what we can't do, we sometimes forget what we can. And the best way to see what we can do is to let our minds clear, which is what I do with my job and companies. So thank you, Nesreen. It's been really nice talking with you, and you have really nice potential as well.
okay.
Thank you.
Miss Abir Mustafa, can you talk to Mr. Tom, or do you have any questions to ask or something? Miss Abir, are you there?
Hi, Mr. Arif.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
I'm fine.
Yeah. Would you like
So
to?
happy to be here with you and Mr. Tom and everybody. I'm happy to learning English with you.
Thank you very much.
So we are
Do you,
welcome.
do you have a question to ask?
I think some questions like Nasreen,
Uh-huh.
I can understand very well, but when I speak, I became shy or lag because
Yeah.
I'm not practice.
You don't practice it.
I think I need to do more practice.
Yeah. Can you add something, Mr. Tom?
Well, you're practicing now, Abir.
That's a good point to make. Miss Shayma Sayed, long time no see. Miss Shayma?
Hello, Mister. Hello, Mister.
Hi. Nice to meet you
Hi.
again.
Nice to meet you. To meet you too.
Yeah, do you want to say something to Mr. Tom?
We have missed you,
Ahlan.
Mister.
Sorry?
Hello, Mister Tom. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm really cool to be with you.
Hey, good response. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anybody else who wants to say something to Mr. Tom or to ask me a question?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, Miss Dua.
Walaikum
Yes.
salam.
Hello, Mr. Arif and Mr. Tom and everybody.
Yeah.
I think my problem, like Kabir and Nisreen, but I miss some words to help me make sentence. I think it is my problem.
Vocabulary. So
Yes.
she's got a problem with vocab. So
Yes.
yeah, Mr. Tom, can you help her?
Yeah, you know my favorite Arabic word? It's just coming back to me now. Yani.
Yani, yeah.
So-
yeah, I
So,
remember that.
Even just as I was thinking in my mind, Yani, before I was going to speak. And then I was going to say Isma. So Doa, if you're always thinking of the words you're missing.
Mm.
Your focus is not on the words you're saying. So see the rainbow, not the rain. And for instance, when you're watching a movie in English, if you have Netflix or Disney Plus or something like that, I think it's a great idea to always watch it with subtitles, with captions underneath,
Yes.
because then you're listening audio, but you're also visually seeing the words as
Okay.
they're being, and that over time can certainly help you fill in the gaps in sentences that you may otherwise have missed, but certainly focus on what you can do and what you are doing well. And, you know, what you're not doing so well will start to clear itself naturally. I like to say, you don't have to chase away the darkness. You just need to turn on the light.
Okay. Okay, Mr.
Yeah. Miss Ahlam, can you? Yeah, Miss Ahlam, would you mind getting involved? Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. I think my problem is I need more vocab and my grammar is not strong enough. But I think this is my problem.
Okay.
So can I ask you a question, Ahlam?
Okay.
What is the solution?
The solution, I think, like Dua, watch more movies and what else? I don't know.
Well, knowing the problem is half the battle. So if you think that you're weak in an area like grammar or whatever, you know what to focus on. You know, you can focus around it in many ways, but I think for this technical question, Mr. Souf would be much more fitted to answer.
Yeah, well, in regards to grammar, she needs a lot of practice, okay, and she needs to focus more because, well, I'm not the one who would teach grammar separately as a discipline or as a subject. No, I would really teach grammar in context, okay, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you listen to conversations, then you just underline or highlight the most important structures, and you try to construct similar sentences. So you should, for now, you shouldn't worry about grammar, okay? You should
Okay.
worry, yeah, you should worry about your self-esteem, okay? You should always tell yourself, I can speak English. And over time, you will be acquiring the grammatical skills needed to establish proper communication with other people, okay? So it comes naturally. So do not stress yourself out about grammar or anything else. Just get involved in conversations. Listen to English passages as much as you can. This is the solution. But teaching grammar separately, I don't think it's good. A student may know all the rules of English grammar, but he wouldn't be able to speak English properly. Am I not right, Mr. Tom?
You are not wrong.
Thank you very much for the compliment. So it is not about grammar or vocab. It's about practice. It's about the context. All you need is to have contextualized information, and that's really important. Miss Asma
And
Sami, yeah.
I will just ask as well to anyone. Let's say I, a native English speaker, is going to a country like Egypt or Tunisia or Jordan, where I used to live in Amman, and I wanted to learn Arabic. What would you advise me?
Yeah, good question. Good point.
talk with Arab person يعني.
Yeah, you mean practice with native speakers of Arabic.
Great advice. You know, the first thing that I learned in Arabic was directions because I needed to work with my taxi driver, to get me places. So I would say things like Binti Arua, Sida, or Dogri, or something like that. But I think that when we create a need, when we raise necessity, we're going to learn. Like I had to learn. There was no choice. I had to learn some words in Arabic to get around for my job. But that's good advice, Ahlam. So thank you very much. Miss Soad.
You are welcome.
I think it's a necessity to learn from a native, because people from other countries don't pronounce correctly. I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I would say yes and no, because on the one hand, natives are naturally, of course, going to be able to speak English clearer, and you will be able to speak French and Arabic clearer. But I've since come to realize, and I've lived in more than 20 countries, our accents is what make us unique. So if you're trying to be an imitation of someone else, you're not going to be a very good version of yourself. So if you just focus on being yourself, your natural clarity and your accent will come out. Why would you want to sound like someone from the UK or America? There's no point. I don't want to sound like that. So we let our own...
I totally agree, by the way.
Yeah, we let our own innate qualities come out, because then we add color and shade to our accents and voice. Now, naturally, we all know people from different countries who speak in such a thick accent you can't hear them or understand them. That is different. That defeats the purpose of actually learning the language, because the point of language is to communicate. So I guess it's like striking a balance. You want to let your own inner qualities shine through in your speech, but you also want to be understandable. So it's up to you where you want to hit that balance.
Well, I'd like to make a point here. Well, Miss Suad just wanted to say maybe my accent or the accent of Arabs is, let me say between quotation marks, ugly. I would say no, there is no ugly accent or beautiful accent. What matters here is correctness. You have to pronounce the words correctly so that you wouldn't distort the meaning. Okay, so it doesn't matter if your accent is not, it doesn't sound like a native speaker. It's not a big deal. What matters is pronouncing words correctly. That's the most important thing. Putting the message across efficiently is the goal. It's not having a beautiful accent like the American accent or anything else. So you shouldn't worry about that at all. Worry about how to improve your communication skills. Yes, Miss Asma Samir. Yeah, would you like Miss Asma Samir? Are you there?
Yes. Hi, Mr. Arif. Hi,
Hi.
Mr. Tom.
Hi.
Salam.
Eid Mubarak.
We have another native speaker who is joining, Mr. Daniel Reed. He's a teacher in Shuwaithat School, a former colleague too.
Mr. Daniel is my friend and also a colleague, and you will see his slightly different English accent as he speaks. I bring him into this call, and Mr. Daniel, if you could turn on your camera, that would be great. I bring him into this call because, unfortunately, Mr. Souf, I must leave the meeting, but in the next minute or so. But Mr. Daniel is here, and I'm sure he will have things to say to you as
So
well.
you are passing over. Thanks a lot for being here among us, Mr. Tom. Yeah, I'm really glad to have you in my class. Thanks a lot, bro. Much love.
It's my pleasure, and thank you all. Masalama.
Assalam.
Hi, Daniel. How are you doing, bro?
Good evening, Mr. Soup. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
All the way from Muscat. How's it? How's everything?
Well, great.
Good.
How are things over there?
All is good. All is good, to be honest. Obviously, we had Ramadan and Eid, and during those times we had like curfew.
Oh yeah.
You know, so you know it's fine. Like it's required. It's the only way anything is going to get better is if we kind of restrict movements.
Yeah.
But no, everything is good. Everything is good. The majority of teaching now is online, except for grade 12s who have the option of coming to school. But you know, it's a platform that we're blessed to have to be able to have to continue to teach. Whereas in so many other areas, you know, they don't have the same opportunity or the same facility to be able to offer education digitally, you know.
Okay, all right, I get you. I know that this lockdown affected everybody across the globe. I'm really glad to have you here among us in my virtual class. These are some of my students. Some of them couldn't make it today. But this is by the way, this is a preliminary meeting, okay? And we still have 6 minutes. I just want you to give them some advice about how to improve their communication skills in English. And if they have some questions, we'll do it really quickly because we still have 7 minutes, and then I will call them back.
Okay, perfect. So to be honest, dealing with
Sorry to cut you off, Daniel. Daniel is a native speaker who is teaching Arabs, okay, non-native speakers of English. So he has got really, he's a load of experience when it comes to teaching non-native speakers, just to give them an idea about you.
Okay, so I'm Irish. I've previously worked with Mr. Souf. But what I would say when it comes to communication is simplicity. Don't try to overcomplicate anything, because that is where your faults will be magnified. If you do have faults, when you try to overstretch or overexpand. I'm not saying to keep things simple, but often structure your sentences before you say them, so that the person who you're interacting with gets the maximum from you. So what I would say is, when you're practicing, when you're sitting at home and you're alone, try and, you know, mess around or, you know, experiment with different words, different synonyms, different ways in which a conversation can go, so that you as a whether it's just a quick question, are the learners here, are they from a business background, or is it what kind of students are they? So it just makes it easier for me to.
They come from different backgrounds. They are adults.
Okay.
They are not teenagers. Yeah, some of them are teachers, and they intend to just improve and refine their communication skills. And yeah, if anybody has any questions to ask to Mr. Daniel, he's ready to answer you. Miss Iman Abdurrahman, I haven't heard you asking any questions. Miss Iman?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. What about you?
Well, I'm a little bit confused, you know, the first time to attend such a class.
Yeah.
But I'm very, very glad to attend it with you, inshallah.
So am I.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Good evening, Iman. How are you? Do you have
I'm
any
fine.
questions
How are
you'd
you?
like to ask me? Or is there anything that you find is there anything that you find difficult, or is there anything that you would say that you're conscious of, or something that you think of or overthink when you are interacting using your second language?
Well, I think it's our common problem. It's about confusion. We feel confused to speak in English with other people.
Okay.
We feel hesitated, well, confusion. We are confused. Most of us, this is the most common issue, that we are confused, a little bit confused, shy, you know?
What I would say, Iman, is one of the biggest mistakes that a non-native English speaker can make is trying to create the conversation in Arabic and then trying to converse in English.
Yes.
Because what happens is it doesn't directly translate. Like, you can have the most wonderful ideas in Arabic, but when you try to put it into English, it doesn't have the same effect at all. So even when you're speaking, it's completely different. And what I would say is, it's better to speak simple English when you're thinking in English, rather than trying to translate difficult conversations or sentences from Arabic into English, because it doesn't work. And what it does is it forces you to overthink rather than just learning what you know, because over time your abilities will improve, and they will only improve when you start thinking in the language you're speaking rather than trying to translate from one language into the other.
Yes, true.
Thank you very
And
much.
the practice, the problem of practice, we don't expect English, speaking English.
Practice,
yes, but I would, yeah, and that's the thing, right? So I teach in a school where I only teach through the medium of English, and I've been in Oman now for 10 years, and I will safely tell you I have less than 20 words of Arabic, and that is purely because of not being exposed to it and not conversing in it. Like, I taught for nearly 2 years in a sub-Saharan African country, and within 6 months.
Sorry to cut you off. We still have
1 minute.
1 minute, yeah. And I will call you back, guys. But I don't know how to make Mr. Daniel join again, because we'll be working on some tasks, and I want him to be here. But the problem is that I don't have your WhatsApp or how to invite you, Daniel.
I'll put my WhatsApp number into your into here.
Okay.
Okay. And you can just send me the link.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. I will call you back, guys. We'll be working on the listening passage, and we'll do more speaking. I still don't have a professional